The Adventure of the Unbreakable Speckled Band.
In a corner of that small, dark room, Sholmes and I waited with bated breath. In time, there came from the ventilator a hiss and a soft, almost growl-like sound. Suddenly, Sholmes sprang into action, lashing furiously with his cane at a point in the darkness. "You see it, Wilson?" he yelled, his tense voice reverberating through the air. I raised my dark lantern's shutter, and the room slowly came into view. Sholmes was staring intently at one particular corner when he started whispering to me. The victim's most perplexing final words. The speckled band. I believe this is the terrible coil to which she referred, Wilson. In front of us was an enormous adder, its fangs bared as it threatened to strike. It truly was the most terrible speckled band I had ever seen.
Ninth of January. Oh, whoop. Also, hi, Virgil. How you doing tonight? Oh, hope you're doing well. Ooh.
So then, let us unravel this mystery and discover what events led to this curious murder. Pray, do excuse me. The cabin door was bolted from the inside when the man was killed. No marks to suggest the bolt was tampered with in any way. So, this would appear to be a locked room mystery. In his final moments, the victim scrawled a message on the floor. Almost certainly with the ink from this upset bottle. A Russian word. So the victim was a Russian man then. And the letters are well formed, suggesting he was compos mentis at the time. This is a most extraordinary script. And evidently not penned by the same hand as this message. In fact, I deduce it was written by someone of a different nationality.
What? Oh.
This paper seal was placed just prior to the incident by the victim himself, I would venture.
What?
Oh. What have we here?
Who are you, and what do you think you're doing here?
Are you sunburned?
No one must touch before maritime police come. We must wait.
That won't be necessary.
You see, in less than 5 seconds from now, I will reveal the killer to you.
What? Don't be absurd. This is murder. I need cabin locked from inside.
Ah yes, the locked room. But that mystery is paper thin.
You don't mean the culprit is in there?
Who are you, and where have you come from?
Detective?
I'm a great British consultant detective, the only one in the world. Sherlock Sholmes. I presume you must have heard of me.
What's in the box? What's in the box? Also, I recognize Detective Hosonaga. My head is throbbing. Verge, is everything okay? What's going on? Something's not right here. There's trouble in the air. Wait. I can't move! Ah! Ah! What the? Why am I in handcuffs? So, you wake up now, Didn't you have marks all over your face? Like, burns or something? It's possible. She might have her reasons. Like, maybe she's just waiting for until you're ready. Or if maybe she doesn't know, it's just... I don't know, it's a weird situation. Cosmo would stick this over the doors of the wardrobe. He says keep out in Japanese, so I'm not sure the Crescent crew can actually read it. I doubt it. This is the paper seal I wrote for the wardrobe. I remember really working hard to make it. Maybe it's because I'm not too used to Japanese customs, but the way it was written, like on that slip of paper, it looked like one of those, I guess, seals that priests would use. But I'll never forget how Kazuma reacted. Do you expect the Russian crew to be able to read that? He said. Still, I was sure people would get the idea, even if they couldn't read it. So we used it anyway. And it worked. I don't know if the crew thought it was creepy or what, but no one opened the doors. Till now! Where's my friend? Is he here? I can't do a good Russian accent. We had to drag you out of the wardrobe. I do not believe how you could not wake up. You are a true cold-blooded man. You found me then. Duh, we found you, and now you pay. Criminal! How long are you hiding in that tiny wardrobe, hmm? Me? Sorry. Now you have been found. It is time to admit your crimes. Unless you want to find out how cold ocean is, hmm? No, I'll tell you everything! Is that lady talking? From the beep 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 beeps. There's only one thing I'd like to know from you. Isn't that... Friend! Why did you do it? Why did you take... excuse me? Misusato. Wait, what did you just say? Take his life? Where is he? Where's Kazuma? Oh no, if Kazuma's dead... Is he? Ha, you pretend you do not know. You are a wolf in sheep's pelt. You are the killer. Do not try to make excuses. Is Kazuma dead? Is he are we giving him the Mia Fey treatment? What? Kazuma-sama was... No! No! Kazuma-sama's body was discovered not long ago. Here, in this very cabin, that was bolted shut from the inside. His body? Please, do not try to tell us you were doing this terrible thing in your sleep. Kazuma's dead? Damn it! I really liked voicing him! But he can't be. And these handcuffs. Surely you don't think I... Oh, dang, I was pretty loud there. It clipped. Surely you don't think I have to know. Why did you take Kazuma-sama's life? Answer me, please. No. No! Kiryu's dead. Oh, this is a different Kazuma. What was his first name? Asogi Kazuma, okay. Maybe he's one of Kiryu's ancestors. Kazuma, it was just 2 short weeks ago. Are you sure about this? Won't we get in trouble? Ha 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 ha. Don't you find it funny being in stowaway? Besides, how else could you come to England with me to study? It was really something else when they brought your luggage in here earlier, though. The way that Russian crewman just tossed your traveling case onto the floor. I thought I was gonna die! Yes, I still can't quite believe that. I really didn't think you'd be able to fit inside my trunk. I'm a tiny man! You must be even less... Come on! Tiny people exist! Hey, wait, honestly, I thought I'd broken every bone in my body! Maybe Ionosuke's just really flexible. Well, it's about 50 days until we dock in Great Britain. But if you confine yourself to my cabin here, I don't expect anyone will discover you. I hope not. I get the feeling those Russians wouldn't be very forgiving of a stowaway. They're a sturdy bunch, that's for sure. What I want to know is, why do we need to keep it a secret from the young lady? From our faithful judicial assistant Mikotoba, you mean? From your close friend, more to the point? Surely we could confide in her, could we? I don't believe she'd give me away. No, but if she knew what we'd done, that would make her guilty by association. It's best that only you and I know about this. I suppose so. Anyway, it's about time the steward is supposed to come and clean the cabin. Back in the trunk! I know it's cramped, but you better get in there, I think. It won't be for long. And anyway, compared to hiding inside my traveling case, it'll be a breeze. Yeah, but what if the steward decides to open the wardrobe for some reason? Then I'd be in for it. Stop worrying. I'll tell you what. Why don't you write "keep out" or something on this piece of paper? What? Then I can stick it over the wardrobe doors once you're inside. I don't know. We've only been at sea for about 15 days. How can this have happened? We were supposed to be going on this adventure to England together. We'll leave you at next port. Stay quiet till then. Don't make more trouble for yourself. Murderer! No, I'm not a murderer! Duh! You said before. You said you'd admit everything about your crimes. No, that's not right. Hold on a sec. Okay. I mean, yeah, I did stow away on the ship, but... murdering my best friend? No one else could have done it. Admit truth. Susato-san? Wait. If the penning... If Kazuma's body wrote something in Russian, does Kazuma even know Russian? If he's going to England, could be better at all. Please, tell me what happened. I need to know. Very well. But there is something I would like to ask of you, too. Those eyes. She looks like she's ready to destroy me. This nightmare is getting worse by the minute. I suppose all I can do now is try and find out what really happened. He really has been killed, hasn't he? This isn't just a bad dream? And these handcuffs, they think I did it? They think I'm Kazuma's killer? When they found him, the cabin was locked from the inside. What do you mean? There's no access to the cabin via a porthole window, and the bolt on the door can't be operated from outside. In other words, after the crime, the culprit couldn't have escaped these four walls. What? Or to put it in another way, the culprit could only have been someone inside the cabin. Or do you have some other explanation? The vent! There's a vent! Someone could have squeezed in! Look to your left! This is impossible. How did he die then? What happened exactly? Are you still going to deny the charge? Even despite the circumstances? Just answer me! Please, Susato-san, you have to tell me. Momoga. I'm not sus! The cause of death is still undetermined. They don't know how he died? The ship's doctor is examining the body, but of course he has no post-mortem analysis experience. Oh, great. I don't suppose we shall learn more until an expert has been consulted at our next port of call. So, presumably that means there were no obvious external signs of injury then? That's true, yes. Can't anyone tell me what happened here? I don't get it. Why would anyone want to kill Kazuma? Presumably that's something you know the answer to better than anyone. What? Just did? Please. Whatever you say, you were here in this cabin after all. Well, yeah, I was, but... He would always wake up before dawn and do his training first thing in the morning. I'm suing the Ace Attorney franchise for killing him! I was waiting outside his cabin, as I have every day so far in this voyage. But this morning, he did not come. I could sense that he wasn't. Does that mean he was already dead when Susato arrived at his cabin door? I knocked, but there was no reply. Then I started to become worried, so I went to find a member of the crew. The crewmen forced the cabin door open, and when we managed to get inside... there was Kazuma-sama, collapsed on the floor. Again, I asked, did Kazuma know Russian? How could he have written this if he couldn't speak Russian? Also, what if he's left-handed? They kill me because he... Oh, no. Damn it. Somewhere Kiryu was sneezing, like someone's talking about me. And the white tape there now shows exactly where he was found, I suppose. I had no idea anything had happened. I must have been asleep in the wardrobe somehow. I wish it wasn't the case, but that's just very hard to believe. This is all very hard to believe for me too, trust me. Now I've told you everything that I know. So it's my turn to ask you a question. Yes, alright. Oh god, my head feels so heavy. It's still throbbing like anything. Were you knocked out? Ooh! Why are you even on board the ship, Naruhodo-san? You said something before about being a stowaway, didn't you? Yeah, I'm afraid that's true. It's 2 weeks since we left Japan now, and I've been shut up in this cabin the entire time. I had no idea. But how could you have occupied Kazuma-sama's cabin for so long without him noticing? Funny you mentioned that! No, that would have been impossible, obviously. Yes, of course. Please tell me you're a spirit medium. Kazuma invited me. He wanted to go to England together. We were boyfriends through and through. He actually asked you? But why? I'm afraid I don't really know the reason myself. It was love. I don't understand. Or just really strong bromance. Kazuma, why do you want this? What's the real reason? Why go to such extreme lengths to smuggle me to England with you? I'm smuggling my boy! It's an idea that's been on my mind ever since the end of that incredible trial. I think I told you then, didn't I? That you ought to become a lawyer yourself. Well, yes, you did say that, but I didn't think you were so serious. You have a talent for it, I can assure you of that. But I've never even really thought about becoming a lawyer. Well, that's something you can decide for yourself. London is at the spearhead of cultural development, is it? The center of the world in many ways, is it? There can't be any harm in seeing such an important place with your own eyes, can there? Well, no, definitely not. But on a personal level, if you were to become a lawyer, then... Then what? Damn it! Doctor! Damn it, Kazuma! Kazuma-sama is... He was always saying the same thing. That he wanted to change the Japanese legal system. Perhaps he thought that... Hello? Sorry, hold on 1 second. Sorry, one... Oh shit. Yeah, maybe. So I got a... thing? So I got a message from a friend. One. Let me just save just in case. Wait. Sorry, I just noticed the silhouette. I can't remember if in the first case it was this Herlock Sholmes dude, but I think it's maybe it did change. Excuse me. Sorry, 1 second. But something's still bothering me a little. The look in his eyes then. It was darker than I've ever seen it before. Do I have anything? Do I have any new people? She's the same age as Maya, like in the very first Attorney game. Susato-san? I'm sorry that we kept it a secret from you. My stowing away on the ship, I mean. If I know Kazuma-sama, I expect he was trying to protect me. To avoid me becoming guilty by association. Dang, she's sharp. That's exactly right, yeah. Word perfect, in fact. What happened last night? If you're not the culprit, then tell me. What happened last night here in this cabin? I don't know, like... Okay. Ryunosuke said he woke up with a throbbing headache, so maybe he got drunk? Or bashed over the head? And the real killer just slipped out of the vents? Also, what's that red box thing in the... I can't read it. Well, the thing is... I don't really remember. I don't think this is gonna help. Kazuma brought me something to eat, just like he always did. And then I got myself into that wardrobe over there, just like I always did. Did you sleep in there? Was it comfortable? After that, I fell asleep. Well, yes. So deeply that I didn't even stir when Kazuma-sama was killed? You'd be surprised! Like, I've been told I'm a heavy sleeper. Ryunosuke could be one too. Or maybe the food was laced. Well, yes. I know it sounds unbelievable. Really, I do. But it's the truth. If only I'd woken up, then perhaps I wouldn't be in this predicament. And for some reason, my head's still throbbing like anything. Really? Do you have any aspirin? Or Tylenol? Or... I don't know what the old-timey equivalent would be for that. Was it Coke? I can't remember what... Yeah... is something wrong? Oh, no, it's... Please, forget it. Susato-san, you have to believe me, I didn't do it. I don't believe you. I really don't want to doubt you. But the trouble is, there is no one else who could possibly have done this. It's the statue in the background. I accused the statue. Ugh. Can I investigate now? Kazuma, I don't understand. Why? Why did this have to happen? Ugh, I can't take this. Don't try to go anywhere. What? I'm not allowed to investigate? You're the perpetrator of this crime. You can't leave. I can't allow that to happen. I'm sorry. But Cosmo was killed right under my nose here. And I didn't do anything to stop it. And now I'm supposed to just sit around like this? While whoever did this walks free? No, I can't allow that to happen. Well, what do you propose to do then? I investigate. Oh, sorry, I knocked something over. Probably the white powder. Give me some cocaine, I'll be fine. Here's my proposal. I investigate, you monitor my every move, and maybe help me out. And I don't know, maybe you can learn how to channel spirits and summon up Cosmo and ask him what happened. I'm going to investigate. I'm going to find out exactly what happened here. I'm going to work out who took Cosmo's life, and how and why they did it. So I'm sorry, but you're going to have to excuse me. Hiya! Whoa! Oh, shit! Judo master? What the? That was a Susato takedown. Susato what? What martial art form is that? The fuck you kind. I'm going to need you to prove it. Sorry? Prove it? Yes, your innocence. I need evidence. I don't know Russian! How can I write something in Russian? Like with Cosmo's body? Dead body! Get the Ouija board. But how am I supposed to? Have you forgotten already? What you achieved just a few weeks ago. You successfully defended yourself in a court of law. I see. Am I hanging upside down from the ceiling? Or am I just lying on my back? I see. She's expecting me to present some conclusive evidence. Would you like a slip of paper? Hold on one second. Water break. I have to get Susato-san to believe me. I'll show her some evidence right now that proves I'm not guilty of this awful crime. Look at my badge! The symbol of Yume University. Every student wears this pin with pride. On the collar. It's funny, but most emblems seem to be either round or rectangular. You could stab somebody with this! I like the spike design, even though it doesn't really make sense. Spiked like Phoenix Wright's hair. although it does cause problems. Lots of students end up cutting their fingers on the badges. Do they make them razor sharp? Perhaps it was the idea of one of the founders. A sharp pin for a sharp mind or something? What is this? My personal student number is engraved on the back here. If you lose your pin, they won't accept you as a Yume student at the university. You may not come in, they say. Of course, you can get a new pin made if you just tell them your number. I've actually lost mine twice already, but I still don't know my student number by heart. How did you get a new one, then? I always say to myself, I mustn't forget to write it down somewhere. But then I forget not to forget that. Oh. I thought I could, like, examine the screw. Okay, go back. What's this? You see the remnants of the glue we used to stick this over the wardrobe. I guess tape wasn't invented yet, or they didn't have it available. Although it wasn't proper glue, of course, we didn't have any of that with us. So I pulverized some rice into a pig. Really clever, actually. I remember at some point, I think, when I was a kid, I had some sort of assignment for an elementary school, and it required glue or something, but it wasn't sticking. Like, I had to make some sort of craft, but I think something wasn't sticking onto the paper end. So I asked my mom for help, and she just grabbed a single, like, sticky rice, smushed it on the paper, and it worked. But to a stowaway like me, every single grain of rice is represents precious rations. Were you starving in there? That's why I spread as thinly as I possibly could. I couldn't bear to waste any. Dang, you're good.
Yes!
Will this work? Tell me, when I was discovered in the wardrobe before, was this piece of paper stuck over the doors? Oh, yes, it was. I remember it clearly. I thought so. Kazuma always put it in place whenever I went to sleep in there. Just in case the cabin steward or another crew member decided to look inside. So naturally, he did the same last night as well. Ah! Yes, of course. Yes, of course. Now that I've proven myself, can you help put my spine back in alignment? The gentleman who discovered you peeled that sign from the wardrobe doors before he opened them. But if I were truly the culprit, I couldn't have climbed back inside the wardrobe and stuck this on the outside of the doors on my own. Yes, that's quite true. In other words, it's impossible that I killed Kazuma. I don't believe you. Well, even if you are sprawled hopelessly on the floor, whose fault is that? I can see why Kazuma-sama thought so highly of you. Thank you, Susato-san. Now, do you think perhaps you could help me up? I think you broke my spine in 4 places. Well, in light of that evidence, I don't see any reason why I should stop you from investigating here, at least. Thank you. So you finally believe me? No. I'm sorry. No. Oh god, I called it. What? I'm not sure yet. I can't rule out the possibility that you used some sort of conjuring trick. I'm not a spirit medium! What kind of trick could I have pulled? Like, this is ye old Japan and UK times. Like, I don't have telekinesis. Seriously? Like, oh god. Unless she thinks I made 2 slips of paper with keep out with rice smeared on the back. Skyrim. What does she think I am, a magician? Oh, Ryunosuke, wait until Apollo Justice. For now, I suggest you investigate as thoroughly as possible in here. I'll do the same. Alright, let's get to work, Susato-san. Please don't misunderstand me. I still have my doubts. Oh. I shall be watching you to make sure you do nothing that might disturb the crime scene. Even when I use the bathroom? Especially when you use the bathroom. I wouldn't want you using your conjuring tricks to destroy evidence, of course. Why would I? Right. Well, anyway, I should make a start on investigating in here. Examine everything. Kazuma, I swear, I will avenge your death. Okay, wait, we can keep talking? Never mind. Oh, hey, what's he doing here? Why is the table What the crap is this? That's my dinner from last night. A roast chicken. It was really tasty. That's a big leg! I'm guessing it's a leg. Yes, it was very delicious, wasn't it? But, did you eat it on the floor? He ate it like a dog! I'm not a dog! I ate at the table, of course! Which begs the question of when and how the plate ended up on the floor. But Kazuma-sama didn't like chicken at all, did he? Really? No, that's right. So he didn't touch it. Which meant all the more for me. Oh no! Oh god, do you think I killed him for chicken? Poor Cosmo-sama spent his last night on Earth with an empty belly. It's just too horrible. Now I'm suddenly have a guilty conscience and an achy stomach. Don't break my tummy, my achy breaky tummy. Oh dear, that won't do. Oh, what's the matter, Susato-san? Whenever I'm examining things, I always find myself so focused I forget to look around properly. Oh, I can look behind me! Oh yeah, that's not good. I don't suppose you're as foolish as me in that regard, are you, Naruhodo-san? Not anymore! I'm sure you're careful to look all around using BOOM, are you? Now, let's investigate all corners of this cabin. Yes, let's do that. I suppose my field of vision has been rather small until now. Very true. Okay, what can I... There's nothing on this table at all. No, but the tablecloth is messy. The plate and cutlery are all over the floor for some reason. Yeah, it's strange. Last night when I went to sleep, I'm sure everything was still... No, wait a minute. What is it? That's funny, I can't seem to remember anything about what happened after dinner at all. They're not questioning the sword. Oh, not... I believe they will once I examine it. For now, I just want to look around, just scour the entire room for clues. So, then perhaps you are responsible for what happened to Kazuma-sama? No! I can examine the chair. Oh, never mind. Seigi, the Japanese word for justice. The brush strokes are straight and true, just like Kazuma! Yes, his calligraphy always was a reflection of his heart. Yet can you really look at those characters without feeling shame, knowing who drew them so thoughtfully? What? Didn't I just prove I didn't do it? Of course I can. I mean, I'm innocent, so why shouldn't I be able to? Even though you stowed away on the ship? Because Kazuma asked me to! Now you're gonna bring that up, are you? I can't win! What you doing there, sir? Perhaps I should see what this Russian crewman makes of the scene of the crime. Excuse me. What? I was wondering how it's going. the investigation, I mean. Do you have a name aside from just Sailor? Was I talking about a guilty person would say? Grandmother told me Japanese people do not make jokes, but it's not true, I see. Sorry? The criminal asking investigator for information about crime? Very funny. Oh, it wasn't supposed to be a joke. He doesn't appear to be laughing either. He's convinced you're guilty. Are we speaking English or Japanese to each other? He might have useful info, though. I have to keep trying. So, last night, did you notice anything out of the ordinary at all? Niet. Of course not. Now back to corner of room and make silent. I say no more. Did I hit a nerve? Just for a minute there. He seemed a little flustered. What? Did you notice anything out of the ordinary at all? Either he wasn't paying attention or he was... I don't know, maybe he was watching something else. Back in your corner. Didn't someone else come in right before he died? Maybe? I don't know, maybe it all depends on the... I don't know, if they had high-tech autopsy reports, then we get a better idea of when... These are the rules of passage for travel around the SS Burdia. It's essentially a list of requirements from the captain to all passengers on board. Oh, I see there's English on the bottom. Passengers must not keep weapons or other dangerous objects in their cabin. There's a knife here, and Kazuma always had a sword with him. Also, would Ryunosuke count as a pet? They mention it why he went. Oh. What? Why are you staring at me? Oh, sorry. I was just thinking. Are you more of a dangerous object or a pet? I say he's more of a pet. I can't decide. ¿Por qué no los dos? Well, one thing's for sure. Either way, I wasn't supposed to be here. It was my day off. Why can't I examine the ink? That's a very large traveling case, isn't it? Yes, it carries a lot of memories for me. Like having to turn myself into a pretzel to fit in there. Memories? What do you mean? Well, that's actually how I stowed away on this vessel. I was brought on board inside that case. Ah yes, I see it says "this way up" in Japanese. Which in hindsight, I should have realized the foreign crewmen wouldn't be able to read. I was turned over and over and over, and then I was tossed on the floor. And then I came out, all my bones were broken. Oh dear. Being a stowaway isn't as romantic as it sounds. Depends on where and how. Well, it was less painful than a Susato takedown. What's all this? That's Kazuma-sama's precious sword. He never went anywhere without it. How was it allowed on the ship? Yes, he was always saying that a Japanese man's katana is his soul. I believe he had to work very hard to convince the government to allow him to bring it on this trip. Oh. Let me bring my sword! Why? I'll give you haircuts with this sword! Okay. I suppose that shows just how important it was to him. And now he's gone. But I'm not ready to let his spirit go just yet. Okay. What is this? Oh, is that the lid for the ink? Looks like it looks like a bell. It was definitely the government. What do you think this is? It looks like a broken piece of glassware. Whatever the thing was, it appears to have broken clean in two. Never mind, not America. Oh god, just imagine, like, maybe in the UK, like, we need to let this man in. We need to let this man in with a katana. Wait, why? Anime. The glass is such a beautiful color. It looks like a cute little Netsuke fastener from a kimono outfit. I'm not sure that sounds like Kazuma. He wouldn't have secretly carried a cute little trinket like this around with him, would he? You never know. Like, even the toughest of dudes can have a soft spot. And the mark beside it, what is it, I wonder? It has a sort of brick-like hue. Honestly, when I first saw it, I thought it was a dent, like something scratched the floor. Yeah, you're right. It is a color of brick, isn't it? Even though I don't see anything of the same color anywhere else in the cabin. When I went for help and the crewman forced the door open, this bolt had been firmly closed. It's quite a small bolt and not particularly sturdy. And it just slides across to secure the door shut. Maybe the door is really heavy? But still, with the door bolted, there would be no way to get in or out of the cabin. It's no wonder everyone suspects me. When she glares at me like that, I feel tense all of a sudden. I remember reading once in a detective novel, the culprit used a needle and thread to draw a bolt across from outside the room in a situation like this. I don't know they used that against a door like that. Oh! Yes, that's a clever trick, isn't it? I'm an avid reader of detective stories myself. Do you... Okay, I remember those, like, those kind of sleeves are magic. Like, you can just put stuff in there. But now I'm wondering, is it hammer space in there? But the door of this cabin and its frame are made of metal, and they seal together perfectly. There would be no possibility of using that needle and thread trick here, I'm afraid. I feel pins and needles. Okay, so my guesses are maybe the killer, like, aside from just squeezing in through the vent, like maybe squeezing in and out of there, probably gonna hide a whole chicken. Like she just whips out a rotisserie chicken. As for my current theory is maybe either someone on the crew, or maybe if somehow someone's on board, the ship's architect might have done this, because they would know exactly how like the entire map, the map of the ship and how everything works. But I might be wrong. This statue is down. The books have fallen over on the shelf. Look, they're all toppled the same way. And what's this? A statue of some god of the sea? Although he's fallen over as well. If it's the Thinker, I swear to God. Yes, it's almost as if the whole shelf has been ransacked and everything mown down at once. The killer was looking for something. I wonder if... perhaps it was Kazuma-sama doing his morning sword training, do you think? Not even cooked, just an alive chicken. I present to you the chicken named Chicken Nugget. Also, like, this is how to, like, why would you attack books? Who has in their sword training regimen step 1 / literature? I seriously doubt it. Then perhaps... It was you, Naruhodo-san? In a fit of rage? There would be just sideways books. I would not bother leaving the wardrobe just to mess up a few books and a statue. Could the way these things have been thrown about have anything to do with this case? Well, I'll just set everything straight again. I don't like to see a mess. You sure? You'd be disturbing the crime scene. Why can't I examine the ink? This is where dear Kazuma-sama would have sat whenever he was writing. Can we read it? London Diary. Poor Kazuma, he didn't even make it to his destination. It looks as though the last entry is incomplete. So the killer must have come in while he was writing. Which means... what? He was in the middle of writing when the incident happened? Let's see what it says. It could be a valuable clue. Are these being added? Put these in my court record, please! Hiya! That's out of the question. It's a crime scene! Kazuma-sama may have departed this world, but you must not read his private thoughts. What if there's something important? Something relevant to the case? Okay. Fine, I won't read it. Poor Kazuma-sama. I don't like prying into people's personal matters either. But in this case, isn't the need for clues more important? Okay, now we look at this. Did Kazuma write that before he died? It looks like it's written in ink. Purple ink? He must have knocked the ink pot from the desk when he collapsed on the floor. Then I suppose he wrote this message by dipping his finger in the spillage. He doesn't know Russian! Like, does he know Russian? Is this Russian? Is it upside down? Wait, 1 second. Ooh. Taking a quick picture. Turning it upside down. Eh. God. Okay, it's not. It's nothing upside down. Poor Kazuma-sama. No doubt he was in terrible pain. It's almost unbearable to imagine. I'm seeing a repeat of past Ace Attorney cases where we learned that his death was instantaneous, and we have to go, wait a minute, if he died instantly, then how the hell did he write this? I suppose he was trying to leave some kind of a clue in his final moments, wasn't he? I'm sorry, partner, but I can't read your writing. Ryu, do you have any knowledge of whether or not your friend knew Russian? I don't think that's Japanese, Naruhodo-san. What? Then what language is it? Get the Russian guy! It pains me to admit, but I don't know. It's not a foreign script I'm familiar with. What does it mean? Again! Okay, fine, I'll look up. Some 2 weeks since we set sail from Japan. Have you really been living in that wardrobe the entire time, Naruhodo-san? I think living isn't quite the right description. Now I think about it, do these rooms have their own bathrooms? Because if not, then Ryunosuke must be very stinky. Oh no, I suppose not. Although it must have been rather exciting making this voyage in your own secret hideout. The trouble was I never knew when a member of the crew might come in. So, yeah, I basically did have to live in there. TF2 sniper! Oh god, open it and there's Girardi everywhere. And last night was no exception. But because of that, you had no idea what was happening out here in the cabin. No, sadly not. I just hope Ryunosuke didn't get seasick. I think that's some kind of opening for a ventilator. A hole through which fresh air can circulate into the cabin. Isn't that a little odd? What do you mean? You could say it's kind of sus. Well, this ventilator, if that's what it is, looks like it must connect to the next door cabin. Yes, it would appear to. You're right. But if its purpose is to allow fresh air in the room, surely it should be connected to the outside. Unless we're all sharing air. That's true. Perhaps it's so that rain and spray don't find their way in when the seas are rough, or something like that. I suppose. Maybe that's it. What? What are you doing here? When did you get there? Who was that? He wasn't there a minute ago. As far as I can tell, it looks like he might be European. Sus! Sus! Oh, how did he... You've noticed the man too, have you? I have no idea who he is or how he got in here, but he looks suspicious. And tall. Suspiciously tall. How can you tell he's crouched? Naruhodo-san, don't tell me. Do you really not know who that is? I was in a wardrobe this whole time. Well, no. I don't have any foreign friends or acquaintances. He doesn't look like a member of the crew. There's something very unusual about him. Ooh, what if he's the killer? And is he investigating Kazuma's desk, or is he just playing on it? I can't tell. Well, in that case, we simply must talk to him. Am I just imagining it, or does Susato-san look almost uncontrollably excited? By the way, I expect that you've noticed already, but just in case, if you press space on people when they're in the crosshairs, you can converse with them. Oh, sweet! Alright then, I'll get that suspiciously tall gentleman in my sights and see what he has to say for himself. Also, I'm surprised the desk isn't tilting over from his weight. Oh, please do. Is there anything else? This is... Yes, it's a bell cord contraption, I think. What do you mean, contraption? I read about it in a book when I was studying that's talked about life in Great Britain. Large households often have bell cords like this, which you can pull to ring a bell to summon servants. Really? That sounds almost magical. Do you want to test it? Should I give it a little try? Yeah, yes. In the interest of cultural research, obviously. I suppose nobody comes for lowly Japanese people. Oh, they're racist! Either that, or there's a weird where they just say, like, maybe someone disconnected it. If you like to talk, press space. No, I'm sure it's just that everyone's busy, that's all. Okay, first of all, can you read? Wait. Oh no. Damn it! Can you at least read what's on the floor? We can't read it! I can't read it! Excuse me? Excuse me, do you have a moment? Shh! This is a critical point. This is a critical point in my investigation. Maybe I should leave him alone. He seems a little unfriendly. Oh wait, maybe I should leave him friendly. Yes, perhaps that would be for the best. Where'd he go? Ah! Greetings! Ah! What exactly are you doing on Kazuma's desk? Also, apologies for my crappy British accent. Ah, I see. Fascinating. Sorry. What do you see? I feel like he's looking right through me. He really is British. Oh yes, everything is clear now. The train of reasoning has run its course. My deductions have crystallized. You have been in Afghanistan? Just recently returned, if I'm not mistaken. Sorry. Wait, what? And now, while venturing toward foreign climes, you find yourself in a most troubling predicament. Oh, well, that's true at least. It's no better than mine. Oh. But how? I want bubbles to come out of that. How the deuce did I know that, perhaps? It was really a most elementary deduction. Hardly worth explaining. Have you perhaps managed to deduce anything else? But of course, a great many things. There is no mystery, my dear madame. For example, you have fled your native land of Rush. Do we look Russian? Like if we were Russian, we wouldn't be having issues reading the writing on the floor. You leave 16 victims of assassination in your wake, and now travel to England to blow up the Crystal Tower. Crystal Tower? And when the beribboned occupant of this very cabin discovered your identity, you ended his life too! You are Is he really detective? I want Detective Dante to bust in. It's like you're fired. Yes, I believe that summarizes the facts beautifully. No need to hide the truth now. Nothing deceives these eyes. I think you need to get your goggles checked. He seems more insane. Just to be clear, you're talking about me, right? Certainly I am. Ooh. Do you see another in this cabinet who fits the bill? A Russian assassin with 16 victims to his name? He's talking... Oh god, he's talking about the sailor. He's talking about the sailor. I don't even see one person who fits the bill. So it's true. What? Did you not hear the nonsense that came out of his mouth? It was you who did this to Kazuma-sama. What? And you're plotting a revolution, too. It's shameful behavior, Naruhodo-san. Absolutely wicked. Do I? No, listen, there's no way I... Why? Flip him, not me. Now explain yourself. Tell me everything. This is ridiculous. My spine. How could you do it? For pity's sake, open your eyes. I'm not a Russian revolutionary. Obviously. Oh, forgive me. And as for you, what kind of deduction was that? You were just saying the first thing that came into your head. Ah, but was I not right? No! Whilst venturing toward foreign climes, you do find yourself in the most troubling predicament, do you not? Is this one of those, like, the Adventure Time dude who's like, welcome, Fred. Oh, how did you know? I'm a master of slightly accurate information. See, there was acting like a cow. Well, yes, maybe. Ha, there you have it, you see? What do you make of that, Well, to be honest, I think you need to take off your goggles. The ship is en route to England, and I'm in handcuffs at the scene of a murder. So I'm not really sure you could call it deduction. It's more plain observation. Indeed. An observation, my dear boy, is the basis of all deduction. My method is founded upon the observation of trifles, you see. I announce my findings with a brassy certitude. And more often than not, I'm right, you're wrong. I don't think you introduced yourself. Oh, my apologies. How remiss of me. I am none other than the greatest detective of the century, known to men and women the world over. The inimitable Sherlock Holmes. He's definitely British. How old is this dude? 34? There is no way he's older than me. There's not a person in the world who hasn't heard of this famous great detective. Not a person except me, apparently. So, it's really you? The actual Sherlock Holmes? Blow bubbles, blow bubbles, blow bubbles. The very same. The inimitable, actual Sherlock Holmes. Please don't confuse me with the Sherlock Holmes fellow. I don't even know who he is. Do you know this man, Susato-san? I mean... The most famous detective in the world? Naruhodo-san, of course I do. There's nobody who hasn't heard of him. I haven't heard of him! Also, yeah, he does... Like, when he has the goggles off, he does look pretty nice. Like, oh no, he's hot! What planet have I been living on then? We must ask him what he's deduced. He will have worked out the entire case already, I'm sure. How about first we ask him to read what's on the floor? Really? Why do I have an uneasy feeling about this? Wait, wait. I gotta do the Ace Attorney tradition. Look at my badge. Mr. Sholmes, what do you make of this? Shh, quiet. When I'm ruminating in the course of my deductions, nothing must disturb my mind. Oh, so sorry. An Indian. You know what? Fine, go ahead, eat the pen, see what happens. What's he ruminating about? The lunch menu? I've never seen anything like this. Most extraordinary writing. You said the same earlier this morning, I think. Indeed, but its uncommonness is so remarkable, I felt the need to say it anew. Yes, I do believe these characters may be a crude attempt at a Japanese script. Crude. Mr. Naruhodo, I don't like to be the one to tell you this, but I think Mr. Sholmes is trying to say that your handwriting's a little untidy. Is he making fun of me? Does he know I'm the one who wrote it? Talk to me, pretty boy. So, you're a great detective, huh? Sorry, what was your name again? Indeed, I am none other than the one and only Sherlock Sholmes. Oh, I see. You're German? Haired a lot? Like Mr. Locke, was it? No, I have no hair. I mean, I have hair. Please call me Sholmes. You can read all about my exploits in this exciting London publication. Oh yes, Ranced magazine. Full of wonderful short stories and interesting articles from Great Britain. I never miss an issue. I have it sent from England especially. Ah yes, here it is. The Adventures of Sherlock Sholmes. So, you're the protagonist in a series of short stories? What if this guy is actually just a cosplayer? Like, he read the books. Like, Sherlock Holmes is a fake character in this universe, and this one guy loved the story so much, he decided, I will be him! Indeed I am. And you've read so many of your own stories, you start to think you really are a detective. Make no mistake, I'm not the poor, deluded fellow you take me for. Your inference is backward. Backward? It's now so great. My trusty biographer records my greatest detecting achievements and chronicles them in the magazine. You have a biographer? Can't you do your own autobiography? Doesn't everyone? I don't! Mine goes by the name of Dr. Wilson, presently keeping shop in London. Wilson, huh? Dr. Wilson? I must say that thanks to that publication, I've been fantastically busy of late. Why, this very moment, I am returning from Asia, having solved the crime of a cursed royal crown. Really? I can't work out whether I should take this man seriously or not. Deduction, you see, is to me a science. Logical reasoning in its purest form. Science? Really? The astute observer notices even the most subtle of reactions in his subject. Kiryu-tate, help me! A furtive glance, a twitch of a muscle, a slight inclination of the posture. Fingernails, arm sleeves, furrows of the skin, all these things are data. Right. And the trained logician makes deductions of this data in the blink of an eye. The ultimate conclusion is, without fail, the truth. As I demonstrated only a few short moments ago. How can he look him in the eye and claim that? So you see, I have a turn both for observation, for deduction, and fame. That is what makes me the one and only no. The only no. Sherlock Sholmes. Is that a teapot? On the sorry, I just noticed it on the desk. Have you managed to deduce anything about this particular case yet? Have I managed to deduce anything? My dear fellow. Who do you suppose discovered the culprit in his most cunning hiding place? I'm not! Dante Sparta. That's right. It was none other than a great detective before you now, Mr. Sherlock Holmes. I see. In other words, you put these on me? When I became anxious about Cosmo-sama this morning, I summoned all of the crew members to force the cabin door open. And I concealed myself among their number, gaining entry to the scene of the crime. Yes, luckily for everyone, the great detective, Sherlock Holmes, was on board. And the handcuffs seem to be an excellent fit, Mr. Naruhodo. Yeah. The very moment I laid eyes on the scene, 2 facts were immediately apparent to me. Oh really? 2 facts, you say? Ooh! Ooh! Sorry, first. Before we started talking, you were examining Kazuma's desk, weren't you? Kazuma? Oh yes, the victim. Did you notice anything useful? Anything at all? Nope! Observe for a moment the desktop of the victim. Sorry, my first thought was, like, he doesn't have a computer! We see that the victim was engaged in penning some text. London Diary. Cosmo was keeping notes of the trip. But I don't think you should read his private writings. It could upset people. Plus, you can't read Japanese, so suck it! Tragic. And something you want to perhaps elucidate before the act of reading. You mean you've read it already? Nope! It is my business to know what other people do not. Yes, believe it or not, I know a smattering of Japanese. Is smattering a real phrase? He was legal at... Oh! Oh, I see. Well, you're about to know what a Susato takedown is. Do it! Do it! Susato-san, aren't you gonna throw the detective with one of your trademark takedowns? I'm sorry, Naruhodo-san. What on earth Oh, so it's only for me, then! Life is so unfair! Anyway, to return to the matter at hand, namely this diary belonging to the victim. It would appear the final sentence is incomplete, as if the author were cut short. Like I said earlier, he was writing when he was attacked. Tell me, what is the nature of the writing? Pray, be precise as to details. But I thought you knew Japanese. I lied! A smattering, dear boy, a smattering! Sayonara, bonsai, mikado, nado nado. Nado nado. I trust you're suitably impressed. So he knows goodbye, a type of tree. I don't know what mikado is, or nado nado. But this diary is littered with complicated looking characters, of which I can precisely read none. Ah ha ha ha! So what was all that about showing off before? If you would be so kind as to show me, I would be happy to read it for... Didn't you just toss my ass for invading Kazuma's privacy? I'm much obliged, my dear madame. The final entry here in Kazuma-sama's diary consists of just 2 short sentences. The first reads, 1:23 a.m. I can hear a faint whistling sound. Whistling? The vent! The vent! These are very deep waters. Pray, do go on. The second sentence reads, 1:35. What looks like some sort of speckled band is dangling from the ventilator grill. A speckled band? What on earth does that mean? There was mention earlier of a speckled band, like a snake? I have no idea. I've never heard that expression before. The ventilator grill, you say? The man was presumably referring to the lattice there on the wall which connects to the adjoining cabin. Okay. Wait. Okay, because that whole, like, the intro with the animation, maybe it wasn't actually a murder. Either it was just an accident, like someone brought their pet snake that just slithered in, bit him, and left, or there was an actual killer who was like, "Go, Snakey, go!" Yes, the adjourning cabin. Finally! Hear faint whistling sound. So roughly 10-ish minutes, or 12 minutes. Mr. Sholmes, tell us, please. What 2 facts were apparent to you when you came into the cabin this morning? Oh yes, but first, let us be precise. Have a good night, Virgil. Thank you for tuning in. The 2 facts in question were immediately apparent to me. Yeah, I understand, but what were they? Allow me to elucidate. The 2 facts that I deduced from a mere momentary glance at the scene of the crime were as follows. 1. The cabin was locked from within, rendering escape of the culprit out of the question. Number 2. The victim was Do you have Japanese and Russian mixed up? Hold on, Mr. Jones. What made you think the victim was Russian? Oh, the writing on the floor. Observe the dying message left by the victim on the floor. Can you read it? Today, I feel bad. Russian for wardrobe. Okay, so whoever attacked Kazuma knew what was in there. Like, maybe they took a peek, saw him, closed it, wrote that down. It's like, hey guys, look at there, and then left. Do you really think Kazuma-sama could have left a dying message in Russian? No! Unless he knew Russian. In their final moments, many find their native tongue filling their head. For this young man, Ryunosuke, you dumbass! Kazuma was Russian, was he? Initially, I considered Garderob may be the name of the killer. A certain Robert Gard, perhaps. But in the interest of thoroughness, I decided it would be wrong not to look inside the wardrobe there, at least. Where you found Mr. Naruhodo-san sleeping soundly. Quite so! I found you! The renowned Russian rivulet... Just admit you're wrong! There's nothing wrong with admitting you're wrong! Why is it that I'm Russian too? I observed that you were wearing the same attire as the victim. In other words, you were acquainted. We're students! And if my mind serves, that outfit is in the traditional dress of the Russian Is it? Do Russia and Japan have similar school uniforms? Our school uniforms are the traditional dress of the Russian people? I had no idea. I have... and I had no idea that I could get something so wrong. I took a photograph of the victim and the message that I might analyze it for possible hidden details. Gimme photo. Kaz! This was taken immediately after young man was discovered, before the body was removed. Kazuma! Yes, Kazuma had already been taken away when I woke up. Why did you have to get the Mia Fey treatment? This is the first time I've actually seen him like this. Are you alright, Mr. Naruhodo? Oh, yes, thank you. Is there anything weird in there? Wait a sec. Okay, I'm seeing... looks like there was some ink splatter around the O. Plus, still, like, I have a suspicion that maybe... Ooh. I don't know, like, the suspicion that maybe, he's not right-handed. Crap, I can't remember which side is, like... What side did he have his sword on again? Like, the sword he drew out against Ouchie? I'm gonna miss the heroic headband billowing in the wind. What, pray? You mentioned Russia before as well, didn't you? You know, when I said I was a fearsome revolutionary fleeing from Russia and all that? Ah yes, the train of reasoning that led me to the truth. What truth? Would you mind explaining that train of reasoning to me? I feel bad, I don't know Russian. Certainly if it interests you. How many? I'm not Russian, I don't speak Russian! Can we talk about your deduction before? The things you concluded about me? Ah, the now famously accurate, troubling predicament you find yourself in. Actually, it was the other details that I was more hoping to discuss. You know, the merciless Russian revolutionary and assassin of 16? Ah yes, the more sordid details. It was a fairly commonplace deduction. Was it? Here we have this morning's paper. The main headline reads... Revolutionary violin... Villain Bolshevik? I feel like there's a pun in the name. Flees Russia via Shanghai. This vessel made a port call at Shanghai yesterday, and last night, the young Russian was murdered. Kazuma or the guy in the newspaper? Also, does the guy in the newspaper look anything like me? Says one with Kazuma a Russian. It sounds like Mr. Sholmes has concluded he was Russian because of what Kazuma-sama wrote on the floor. It was a simple act of reasoning to realize that the culprit of this crime was the same merciless revolutionary. One who could kill the very man who helped him to escape after his true identity was discovered. Excuse me? Yes, you... Violent Bolshevik... Do I... Okay, I'm gonna hold the newspaper... Okay, Sholmes, I'm gonna hold the newspaper up to my face. Do me and the photo look any way similar? No. How could it be me? Exactly! I don't look anything like this man. Just look at his face! Well, you are a fearsome revolutionary after all. Therefore, you have no doubt learned to revolutionize your appearance. Yeah, if I had plastic surgery! Please. And I might add, your name does not appear on the ship's passenger list. Need I say more? Well, that's because I'm a stowaway. What about the other details? The 16 victims of assassination and blowing up the Crystal Tower? Ah yes, the journalist clearly interviewed the man and printed all those particulars in the article. Oops, sorry. The deeds the man has perpetrated thus far, and those he is plotting. Yes, everything about this revolutionary Bolshevik was included. There can be no mistake. Do revolutionaries usually read interviews with newspaper reporters? Me? I mean... Maybe if they want to sort of get their message out. And what about the part where you said I was just returning from Afghanistan? Also quite clearly stated here in the article. Can I have that? I need it as evidence. Bolshevik is recently returned as after a period of subversive activities in a war-torn region of Afghanistan. Where even is that anyway? This Afghanistan place. Here, take the paper for yourself, as a little memento of this great deduction. Or as a memento of your bullshit. Thank you. I've absorbed all that is of interest to me within its pages, but I see no rubbish bin nearby. Am I a rubbish bin? And you may find the article on the back page of interest as well. On the back. I can't find anything on a plate. Oh hey! I'm afraid I can't read a word of Russian. No, me neither. I have no idea what any of this says. Oh hey! The pair of you floundering is a sorry sight. Allow me to offer some assistance. The article on the front page of this newspaper is concerned with a fearsome Russian revolutionary. It reads, Revolutionary violent Bolshevik flees Russia via Shanghai. Yeah, you told us that before. It reveals also that those who see the man's beard with their own eyes never live to tell the tale, yet we're looking at it. Oh my goodness, he is fearsome. Well, presumably the newspaper photographer was alright, wasn't he? The solution is obvious, of course. If he despises his beard to that degree, he need only shave it off. I'm not quite sure that's a problem, Mr. Sholmes. Can I read anything else on this? Ooh, pretty! She's a killer! She's a killer! She's a killer! This is interesting. Have you found something relevant, Naruhodo-san? Well, no, I mean, it looks like it might be interesting. I can't read a single word, I'm afraid. No, nor can I. But look at this picture. Perhaps it's about a beautiful young Russian princess, do you think? Anastasia? She is very pretty, isn't she? I suppose you enjoy articles like this, do you? I don't know. I can't make any sense of it. I'm glad you noticed this article. Hey! Allow me to give you a short summary of its contents. Oh, thank you. He pops up everywhere. It's about the disappearance of a young lady last night. Renowned prima ballerina of the Novovich Ballet disappears from Shanghai. During a performance in Shanghai, the famous dancer was reported missing. She is, of course, the talented young Nikolina Pavlova. Is there a... I need to look up these Russian names like puns. Why are Russian names so hard to remember? It would appear that the woman was in costume when she was found to be missing from her dressing room. Wearing the diamond tiara you see pictured, which is worth some 20,000 rubles. Oh, how much is 20,000 rubles? I have no idea, but I'm quite sure. It must be an unbelievable sum of money. Susato-san's eyes are shining like diamonds themselves. The tiara is the property of the Novovich Ballet. It would seem the director is beside herself with worry. Yeah, I'm not surprised. The company is most anxious to recover both Miss Pavlova and the valuable tiara. We've requested international assistance at all ports with sailings to Great Britain. Could this be another case of a Russian fleeing his or her country? It does seem to be the Russian thing to do. I'm not even going to take it with our response, Mr. Naruhodo. Cast your eye over it sometime if the interest takes you, though you may need someone to interpret. It's all written in Russian. I couldn't hope to read it. But I suppose it wouldn't hurt to just glance at the article. Maybe there might be a picture or two. Quick, look up the comics! So, I believe I've given you enough to consider for the time being, at least. Do you have somewhere to go? As it happens, the victim's writings in his diary have piqued my interest. The matter warrants further investigation, I believe. And if I am still too long, the seasickness takes hold. Oh! You get seasick? Now I'm wondering if they had, like, seasick medicine back then. Or if not medicine, maybe some sort of, like, physical method, like sit still and think in your head a certain phrase. Oh, I suppose. You're thinking of investigating the cabin next door, which the ventilator connects to? Great detectives are a curious breed. Our minds rebel at stagnation. We crave mental exaltation. So yes, I intend to investigate. Hence, the truth will become clear soon enough. Do you think perhaps that we could go with you? No. That would be somewhat complicated. Why? A simple glance at your wrist should reveal the answer. You're the one who put them on me, aren't you? Oh, these. After all, you're the prime suspect in this matter. No? There's no point trying to turn it into a question. You're the one who decided I was the culprit in the first place. Whatever do you mean? I have no recollection of naming you as a culprit at any... Meh? You were calling me violent Bolshevik! You must be joking! You just said it only a moment ago! Dear me, you are clearly misguided. I would have no cause to say such a thing. Is he gaslighting me? Well, Mr. Sholmes, I did hear you say that too. You're quite sure? Well, that's very strange. I wouldn't have said you had the face of a criminal, you know. Not real. Either this guy has short-term memory loss or he's gaslighting me. So what, were you looking at my knees? Some great detective you are. Well, anyway, that was then and this is now. What do you mean? What I mean, sir, is this. If you are the culprit, then you must play the part more convincingly. Roll over and accept your fate. Fuck you. Now he's just being plain rude. And off he goes. Heaven just laughed in my face. His sense of humor is as twisted as his name. Naruhodo-san, what are you just standing there for? We must go investigate the cabin next door as well. What about these handcuffs? Aren't you getting something? What about these? Win! Can you at least use the Susato takedown on my handcuffs? After Kazuma-sama spent his dying moments struggling to leave us a clue, you're willing to give up? You're just going to roll over and accept your fate? As if he gave me any choice in the rolling over part. I think we still have some investigation to finish off in here first, don't we? Let's carry on examining what we can in this cabin while we wait for a chance to slip next door. Good idea. The situation doesn't look good for me, but there are still things I can do to help myself. Susato, use your takedown technique and break me out of these! And I owe it to Kazuma to do everything I can to find a way out of this, and bring the real culprit to justice. Hey, there's two of them now! Is that? Is something wrong, Naruhodo-san? Oh, no, it's just that crewman standing by the door. He's a killer! He did it! I can't help but feel like I've seen him- Wait. It's the Inspector Hosonaga! Oh yes, you're right. He does look familiar. Excuse me, sir. Yes? What can I do for you? I recognize that face, but it can't be. You need it. Okay, you really need to get that checked. It is! I didn't know you were here, Inspector Hosonaga. Also, maybe don't wipe blood on a white sleeve. Now again. What are you doing here? I think that should be my line. I was so stunned when I saw you, my heart stopped. Are you a stowaway too? In disguise? Nearly stopped, I hope. I received some special orders to go undercover as a member of the crew and board the ship. Again? You certainly seem to enjoy undercover work, Inspector. He gets to cosplay. If there's anything I can do to help you, please ask. I never expect to see this man on board. But perhaps his presence can help me out of this hopeless situation. Please wipe your face! Okay, is there anything here I missed? Wait, is that... God damn it! I already did this. Oh! Okay, so it's different now. Would you mind if I investigate a little outside? God damn it! Oh, the criminal asking prison guard to help him escape. Very funny. We're in the middle of the sea. There's no chance of me escaping. Yet, you'll stay in cabin until next port. Then it is up to Hong Kong police to decide what they do with you. Hong Kong? You stay. Fine. There's no point trying to appeal to this man's better nature, that's for sure. I want to investigate the candlestick. Fine. Talk to me. Also, a quick water break. Yes, and why are you dressed as a member of the crew? My eyes glitched and I almost said, I almost read member as mermaid. I'm so sorry. This is all my fault. I take full responsibility for... My orders were to act as Asogi-san's bodyguard? It was Minister of Justice Chico... Why is the Minister of Justice named Hell? Like H-E double hockey stick Hell. Is that a red flag for anyone who pushed for this overseas study tour to go ahead? And he entrusted me with ensuring that Asogi-san reached Great Britain without being assassinated? Excuse me? I'm not sure. But these are complicated times. There are tensions between the world's greatest powers. Minister Jikoku said we should be prepared for all eventualities. This is incredible. Not in a good way. I don't believe it. Kazuma-san was... assassinated? Obviously, we couldn't give Asogi-san a visible security escort. Which is why I'm undercover now, posing as one of the crew. Do you know Russian? I see. And I didn't take my eyes off him the entire time we've been on board. From morning until night, every day. Did you stand guard outside the door? But I never imagined it would happen here, inside his own cabin. Not here on the first-class deck. How old are you again? "29, okay. I forgot about that. I failed miserably on my assignment, and Asogi-san is dead as a result. I'm a disgrace. All I can do is humbly apologize. Inspector. So if there's anything at all that I can do to help now, just say the word. Please help me! We're doing what we can to investigate Kazuma's death ourselves. I thought you might be. You didn't do it, did you? You're not the killer? Of course not! We'd really like to investigate the cabin next door. Yes, so we need to be allowed out of this cabin. I'm sorry. What? You've been deemed a risk to the ship's safety. If you move to even touch the handle of the cabin door, that stormy-looking seaman there would surely snap your neck in two. Is he ever gonna get a name? I suppose. I'm not just a stowaway now. They think I'm a murderer as well. Would it be possible to give me something to work with, do you think? I'm going to need something persuasive. What do you mean? If I had a solid reason why the next door cabin should be investigated, for example. The other guy did! I'd do everything I could to persuade the captain to allow it. Really, I'd lay my life on the line if I had to. But I don't see how... Evidence, that's how. There may be a way. What? Really? Think of how you tried to persuade me with your innocence, Naruhodo-san. By presenting me with a piece of evidence that you already had in your possession. Evidence? It's just the same as when you are in court. You must have done it many times during your trial. Simply select the present panel and choose some evidence that Inspector Hosonaga could use. So, evidence that would give us viable reason to investigate the next door cabin. Alright, I think I might know what we can use. Let's try using present. What would... Oh right, the vents. What's that? It's Kazuma's diary. Just before he died, Kazuma-sama wrote something rather strange in his diary. Strange? In what way? He wrote, what looks like some kind of speckled band is dangling from the ventilator grill. A speckled band? That is strange. Yes, we're still trying to work out what he meant by that. But what I'd like to know is... Don't tell me. The ventilator, is it? You're very astute, Inspector. That ventilator clearly joins to the next door cabin. That's right. So if we can investigate in there, we might be able to work out what that speckled band was. Alright then. I can't leave this cabin at the moment. I'm stuck here until we arrive at the next port. Really? The captain has given me strict orders to guard the scene of the crime, you see. I'll have to entrust the investigation to you. Really? You're willing to do that? Yes. As long as you don't leave the first-class cabin area. I'm afraid I can't remove those handcuffs, though. But what about the captain? Aren't you going against his direct orders? I'm a man of my word. And I promise you that I'll lay my life on the line if that's what it takes to convince the captain. After all, I failed to keep Asogi-san safe. This is the least I can do. Thank you. Let's seize the moment then, Naruhodo-san. Just select move and we can leave the cabin. Move. Alright, let's see what we can find out. Will the guy let us out though, the blondie? Ooh. Oh, I like how they added little, like, directions of what to do down there. Because originally you sort of had to memorize. Is that a mousetrap? A really big mousetrap? Oh, I'm finally out of that cabin. I have to admit, this isn't quite what I was expecting. It's less spacious out here than I thought it would be. And this is the most luxurious accommodation. Yes, indeed. Kazuma-sama was being sent on the study tour by the government. That's why he was being put up in a first-class cabin. Even still, this is about twice as large as my accommodation in steerage. You're not in first... You're in third class? Really? That must be awful. There he is! Oh, look over there. That's another crewman keeping watch, and he looks enormous, even if he's sitting down with his crotch wide open. Kick him in the nards and we can investigate more. Actually, now I'm wondering if, like, all the crew... Are they, like, quadruplets? Like, if there's... Assuming there's, like, more than just two. The door next to him leads to the second-class accommodation. I suppose he's making sure that no one comes in here who shouldn't. I suppose. Like people in handcuffs? Naruhodo-san, you look like a little boy visiting a toy shop for the first time. I would have thought you'd be used to the ship by now. We've been at sea for 2 weeks already. I've only seen the inside of the cabin! Well, yes, I know. But the thing is, I was inside Kazuma's trunk when I first came aboard. And ever since then, I've been shut up inside that little wardrobe. It must have been a very trying time for you. You think? Please, don't give me that pitying look. Yay! Mousetrap! Mousetrap! Ah, a trap for catching mice. It looks kind of big. Yes, we have plenty of those back home in Japan. Although they seem to be using a lump of chalk or something as bait. Let me see. Yes, I think that's what it's called. Cheese. It's made from the milk of cows. Cheese? I wonder what that tastes like. You'd be... I heard somewhere that if you told, I guess, East Asian folks how cheese was made, they'd get sick. Also, like, for Japanese mousetraps, what do they use? Fruit? You can't eat it, Naruhodo-san. The trap will surely snap on your fingers. Really? But... I suppose you're right. You weren't actually going to try it, were you? All I've had to eat for the past couple of weeks is Kazuma's leftover... Jeez! You don't know how hungry I've been in that wardrobe. Oh my god. Poor you. I'll find a little snack for you later. Thank you. First class cabin number 1. Yeah, that's our cabin. Not our cabin, it's Kazuma-sama. Okay, technically it's Kazuma's, but he had me in his closet. Sorry. Your accommodation is confined to the wardrobe inside the cabin. You know how to make a stowaway feel small, don't you? As small as the wardrobe I've been calling home. These cabins are the finest on the ship. My own cabin is in steerage number my own cabin is in steerage is number 539, by the way. 500 and... How many cabins are there? Like... It could be just the number of floors. Like, say 5th floor, everything starts at 5 or something. Fire escape? Or fire alarm? What do you think this is? It's a very pleasing shape, isn't it? That's the emergency alarm. It's probably best not to touch it. Touch! Oh, an alarm. It says, press only in times of emergency. It looks as though it sets alarm bells ringing all over the ship and brings the vessel to a complete stop. Oh, this— No! What are you doing, Arnold-san? You should touch it. Thank you, Susato. Well, this is an emergency situation. Look at me! You know full well that's not what the alarm is for. If you were to bring this vessel to a standstill for no good reason, you'd be in an even worse situation. I wish everything would just stop. The ship included. If you have to do something foolish, at least make it something that doesn't affect anyone else. Ouch. This is it. This is the cabin next to ours. The one the ventilator connects to. Yes, the ventilator from which Kazuma-sama wrote that he saw a speckled band emerging. Maybe whoever's in this cabin can help solve that particular mystery. Let's ask. Knock, knock! You're the one with the suntan burn. Or a tattoo? Oh, Oh, sorry, I was like, I'm about to knock, then all of a sudden, big man titties. Excuse me, we, need to get inside the cabin. I can see your belly button. The sailor's eyes speak volumes. They're clearly saying, keep out. That's what I wrote on the sign we put over the wardrobe doors. Although this man's version is definitely more effective. Oh god, I just imagine, what if this ship crew has the song In the Navy playing? It doesn't look like he's going to let us pass. That's a problem. This looks like a plan of the SS Burdia. It shows each deck. Look. The Burdia is a large-scale steamship with a triple-skinned hull. What a marvel of engineering. Well, it's been playing on my mind for a while now, actually, but... how is it that such a huge lump of metal doesn't just sink to the bottom of the ocean? Magic! Oh, that's really quite simple, Naruhodo-san. It is? Well, consider the Japanese archipelago... Archimedes! The islands of Japan? Yes, they're not metal, but they are enormous lumps of earth, many, many times larger than this ship. And they don't sink, do they? They've been floating happily on the sea ever since the gods created them. Well, I suppose so. That's a huge book on the table there, and there's a pen next to it. Yes, that looks like the ship's log. Shall we have a little look through it? The writing is so neat and precise. Every detail about the voyage has been meticulously recorded. Can we read it? You wouldn't expect a rough and ready sailor to have such beautiful handwriting. And nothing. No reaction at all. I thought he might appreciate the compliment. I'm not sure that rough and ready is much of a compliment, Naruhodo-san, even to a sailor. Anyway, last night's log is mostly blank. Presumably that means there was nothing to report. Okay, so either someone knew the crew's schedule, like, okay, they're on their break, let's sneak in. Or it has to be whoever was in the other next door cabin. That's the way to the second-class area of the ship. Is something wrong? I was thinking about making a run for it, just for a moment. Things aren't exactly going well for me. I might be wrong, but I imagine the moment you reach for the handle of the door, that burly seaman would surely shoot you dead. He has a gun? Oh dear, I'm sorry. Perhaps I went a little too far there. No, I started with my talk of running away. And there's no way I could run while Kazuma's death remains a mystery anyway. Hello, sailor! Excuse me, but could I ask you something? You little stowaway murderer. That wasn't a good start, was it? Alright, let me try instead. Good day, Mr. Sailor. I'm so sorry to trouble you, but could I perhaps ask something of you? You little third class... Wow! Oh. We seem to have caught the sailor on a bad day. I am not sailor! My mother give me name! I am senior Big Stroganoff? I am senior crewman Big Stroganoff. The best thing is just avoid eye contact, I think. How old are you? Can I learn? Okay, 23. Why did you have to die? 37, a real wall of a man. I'm a senior member of the Russian crew. Mr. Stroganoff, about this first-class cabin area. Here we are in finest parts of Burdia steamship for very important persons. What sort of very important persons? Government officials, kings, queens, traveling in secret. Many important persons. That is why I'm always guarding place. Gosh, that's amazing. But somehow I let stupid stowaway inside. I want to pick you up and throw you in ocean, but Stroganov is not animal. Instead, he will hug you like Russian Siberian bear. Thank you. If I may, I was wondering, is the cabin next to Mr. Asogi's currently occupied? Da. I think that's da. Susato-san, did you understand that? It sounded like da. I think it's probably Russian for yes. Or no. Genius. It is not permitted to visit other cabins without invitation. Well, it sounds like there is somebody in the next door cabin at least. What about that Holmes guy? Or Sholmes person? Yes, it's tantalizing. You want to watch here all the time, Seaman Stroganoff? Duh, all the time, so criminals like you cannot come in, or to get out. I wonder, could you tell us anything about last night at all? Niet. It is sad about student boy. Were you on watch last night as well? Of course. And did you notice anything at the time? Anything unusual? Is that Niet? Susato-san, did you understand that? It was clearly a no. I saw nothing unusual. Nothing at all. And you didn't hear any strange noises? Why is he looking away? Or sense anything was wrong in some way? I said no! You're hiding something! Sorry! I'm not sure. I could have sworn that he wouldn't catch my eye for a moment there. Could you tell us who's traveling in the cabin next to Mr. Asogi's? Niet. His name is Mr. Grimsby Roylott? Grimsby? Grimsby Roylott? Grinch Roylott. He is very important Western gentleman. A Western gentleman? Do not think about it. He has nothing to do with murder of student boy. How do you know? Yeah, I can be so sure about that. Mr. Roylott is an authentic Western gentleman. Such a man would have no interest in lowly student from insignificant Far East Islands. Rude. That was harsh. Could you tell us when Mr. Roylott came aboard? I'm pronouncing... Is that how you're supposed to pronounce it? Roylott or Roylott? Because I feel... The way I'm pronouncing it sounds like toilet. That is not your business. Come to think of it. Even though we've been at sea for 2 weeks now, and I've been in Cosmo's cabin the entire time, I've never once heard anything from the next door cabin. Or even felt like there's anybody there. Maybe the walls are really thick? Well, presumably, since this gentleman is occupying one of the first-class cabins, he must be rather important. Is that right? That is not your business. Thanks. This is enough. I cannot say more now. Oh. It is time for me to report to Captain. You must return to cabin. Yeah, alright. Bulkhead to second-class area is staying locked at all times. You escape when lobster whistles on top of mountain. Or, as English say, when pigs fly. Yeah, I understand. Good. Now we can investigate the area properly, shall we? Definitely. Was there something here I can... Okay, did that... I thought you already investigated it. Is there something... Is there some new dialogue? Oh. Okay. Knock, knock. Housekeeping. This is it. This is the cabin next to ours. The one the ventilator connects to. Yes, the ventilator from which Kazuma-sama wrote that he saw a speckled band emerging. Can we go in? Knock, knock. No answer. We're out of luck, it seems. There's no one in there to help us with our inquiries. How annoying. Okay, now I'm curious. How's the trial gonna... if there's gonna be a trial, how's it gonna be held? In this ship? Or, like, we gotta wait until the ship gets to our destination and then do it from there? What was that? It came from inside the cabin. Such a high-pitched scream. It must have been a woman. Stand aside. Where'd you come from? I'm about to break the door down. Mr. Sholmes. I shan't be stopped. When the fit is on me, I revel in kicking doors off their hinges. Imagine, is that how you enter bathrooms? Just kick doors down? Please, wait, Mr. Sholmes. The door doesn't appear to be bolted. It doesn't? And how the deuce can I dispatch this muscular urge? What, pray, can I kick? I crave violence. I think we should go in. There's no time to think about stress relief. Who are you? A Western gentleman? The man looks Russian to me. Where have I seen this kind of face? Maybe he really outgrew his mustache. Also, was he hiding in the cupboard as well? Not cupboard, wardrobe? That man looks Russian to me. We heard a woman scream. Woman? Don't be absurd, why do you have scissors? As you can see, there's nobody but me in this cabin. Unless he can scream that high. True. This old man does appear to be the only person in here. But in that case, who just screamed? Get out, all of you, now! Please excuse the intrusion, but you're Mr. Gravel Roylott, I believe. Yes, that's me. And you are? I am the one and only, the actual Sherlock Sholmes. You've heard of me, no doubt. No! I am a great detective among great detectives, one who adorns the covers of popular magazines, no less. So I assure you, you may trust me completely. I don't! The man uses that magazine like a business card. A detective? I do not trust detectives. We distinctly heard a scream emanating from within these walls. But there would appear to be a lady concealing herself within the wardrobe. It's empty! Unless there's a hidden compartment, or maybe she's stuffed in the bag. So might I be so bold as to ask you to open that small traveling case? Well, don't be stupid. How could anyone fit in small trunk like that? Well, it's quite fashionable these days, is it not? Traveling inside one's trunk. Hey! Don't look at me. Oh my, did you see that? Yes, the case just shook. Leave. Now, otherwise I call steward. So this is Kazuma's neighbor. Mr. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing it right. Grimesby Roylott. Can I at least check? There's no doubt about it. The strange Russian man is hiding something. I couldn't agree more. Let's see if we can find some clues before that burly sailor returns. Are you gonna do this throughout? Like, if you're my investigating partner, you're just gonna be in random places like a cat. What do you think you're doing? Ah! This is my cabin. Get out! Can we just have a quick look inside your traveling case, perhaps? No. Ah, what a pity. I think we're out of luck. I think you're right. There doesn't appear to be anything more we can do. I agree, but there may be someone else who can help. Perhaps that great detective could get somewhere with Mr. Roylott. Distract him! Ooh, is it a pet? Because I see a plate on the floor. Oh, can I talk to you? Mr. Roylott, we'd like to talk to you about something. No! Oh! I do not want to talk. Leave my cabin now. This is gonna go terribly. We're not getting anywhere here. I agree, but there may be someone else who can help. Oh, I got... God damn it. Hey, pretty boy! Do you have a moment, please, Mr. Sholmes? You need only address me as Sholmes. That's what I just did, isn't it? Well, Mr. Sholmes, what were you doing in there? Napping? Why, I was resting, of course. Resting? Indeed, I was contemplating our sea voyage from the confines of the wardrobe whilst waiting. Waiting for the inevitable time. That you would need to call my great powers of detection into service. Oh. It would seem the hour is upon us now. The time has come. Am I mistaken? Well, no, actually, you're spot on. For once. Observe closely. Newspaper! Our Russian host in this cabin, Mr. Roylott, is clearly trying to hide something. And do you know what is the most effective weapon to use against a Russian hiding a secret? Evidence? Why? The truth, obviously. Or that. Though it should be pointed out that such methods are not exclusively for the Russians. Right. Can you imagine how the Russian will react when the secret he guards so closely is exposed? Would you like to witness it? He's gonna get it wrong. Oh yes, please. Sherlock is just gonna walk up to this dude and is like, You're Canadian! Well then, what you're about to see may well astound you. For I am about to apply my great detective's greatly admired, great deduction to the case. Could this man be a more hackneyed portrayal of a dubious Russian, I ask you? What? From time to time it occurs to me. Is the fellow dubious on account of his Russianness, or Russian on account of his dubiousness? Is that right? Is that anti-Russian? I really don't think either of those things should be occurring to you. Or anyone. That's right. And Mr. Sholmes? I know this man's beard and dark glasses are hard to ignore, especially on first meeting, but I once read, it is a capital mistake to theorize before you have all the evidence. It biases the judgment. Shh, I must have complete silence. Yes, I see it. You are penguins in a trench coat. What are you doing? Why are you peering my face like that? Ah, just as I thought. Yes, I'd have quite made up my mind now. There can be no other explanation that accommodates all the facts. Mr. Roylott, I have reached two incontrovertible conclusions. What do you mean? Number one, your true identity is that of a villain. Using those shears, you are about to end the existence of something most dear. Are you not? And number two, the other conclusion I have drawn, You are? At this very moment, no less, in the midst of committing a most grievous crime. Beneath that beard, your mouth quivers with nervous tension as you realize you've been discovered. Is it? Does it not? Oh, Naruhodo-san, I never imagined I would witness one of Mr. Sholm's great deductions with my own eyes. That was a great deduction. Nothing can deceive Mr. Sholmes. In a single glance, he can deduce all there is to know about a person. What ineffable twaddle! Also, really? The same guy who just called Naruhodo Russian? Oh yes, I've read about it countless times in the adventures of Sherlock Sholmes. And now I've experienced the astonishing impact of his great deduction firsthand. Oh, she's so cute! This is like a dream come true. I can hardly believe it, but all the color has drained from Mr. Roylot's face. It looks like somehow both of Mr. Sholmes' conclusions were right. How could you? How could I possibly know such things? You wish to say? Your next line is, how could I possibly know such things? He's like Joseph Joestar, but the other way around. Very well then. I shall elucidate. I shall explain how it was I arrived at this pair of conclusions. I saw the newspaper in your hand. So do I cordially invite you upon a journey of logical discovery. Let us board the train of reasoning. Put plainly, let us work through my deductions together. Ooh! Ooh! This is cool. So, the dubious-looking Russian, Mr. Roylott, obviously what catches the eye in the first place is the enormous pair of shears in your hand. What was that ding? Now we ask ourselves, what could you possibly want with such an implement? Haircut? The answer, of course, is staring us in the face. You were on the verge of using the shears to cut away the copious beard you support. Okay, you're wrong about that. Now, moving along. Shh. The question then begged is this. Why would you desire to rid yourself of this magnificent beard, Mr. Roylott? Once again, the answer is plain. We have clear evidence to shed light on the matter. Regard, if you will, this morning's newspaper. And regard the fascinating front page article. Which it would appear you have read also, Mr. Roylott. I'm sure it needs no further clarification. The evidence that reveals your true identity is the article about the revolutionary. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. What if this is actually the ballerina in disguise? In translation, their headline reads, Revolutionary Violin Bolshevik flees Russia via Shanghai. As you cannot fail to observe, the subject of the article possesses an extremely copious beard. Having noted the article yourself, you decided to remove your incriminating facial hair before it gave you away. In short, your true identity is beyond doubt. You are the fearsome Russian revolutionary himself, Violin Bolshevik. Not that I've heard of you myself, you understand. He's in the newspaper! Wrongdoing. Now, as for my second conclusion, you are, at this very moment, on the brink of committing a most grievous crime. And the proof of this crime? Over there! Oh yes, Mr. Roylott. Taken unawares, people have a propensity to let their eyes stray, you see. And I assure you, this eye speaks so much more eloquently, and honestly, than the mouth. The answer we seek lies where the furtive glance falls. The proof of your crime sits before our very eyes. Yes, that traveling case. Okay, so the question mark. If it's not that, then what the hell's in there? It is time, I think, that the case be opened and its contents laid bare. No, I refuse. What could you possibly be concealing inside, we ask? By my estimation, a young lady, perhaps, once slight enough to fit therein. Okay. If by young lady we mean some sort of pet, like maybe a snake? Don't be absurd. And what, pray, would be the identity of this young lady in the traveling case? The ballerina? Dear me. We are not well suited to a life of crime, are we? Your careless coup d'oeil, I can't pronounce that, betrays you. Once again, we need only follow your furtive glance to find the answer. Yes, the reason you refuse to open your traveling case can equally be found in the pages of this newspaper. For there is another, most stimulating article. On the back. If we turn from the fleeing revolutionary to the back page. Renowned prima ballerina of the Novovich Ballet disappears from Shanghai. Such a headline can lead us to but one conclusion. Your crime is that of abduction. And according to the article, the young lady's name is Nikolina Pavlova. Thus concludes Herlock Sholmes' great deduction of this Russian enigma, Elemensky. Is that a real Russian word? Susato-san. That wasn't one of the great deductions I've been hearing so much about, was it? Well, stories are full of Mr. Sholmes' brilliant deductions, you know. But that did seem a little different somehow. Excuse me, Mr. Sholmes, could you come over here a moment? Pray, what can I do for you? It's about your deductions. They're ass! Would you mind? Not at all. Go on. Well, to start with, there's this newspaper article. I think we had the same discussion before, but these two men look nothing like each other. Look at their noses! Ah yes, I recall our discussion earlier, and at the time, I believed I told you that the man is a revolutionary, well able to revolutionize his own appearance, even his facial structure. In fairness to Mr. Sholmes, Mr. Roylott does look more like this man than you do. That's not the point. And another thing, the part about him abducting the ballerina. Indeed, a truly startling revelation. Do you really think a purse can fit in that tiny case? At first glance, the case would appear too small to accommodate a young woman. Not just at first glance, it is too small. You'd be lucky to fit a 5-year-old in that case, even if you pushed really hard. I don't suppose the missing ballerina's a 5-year-old child, is she? Do we need to look at the picture? You mean you don't know? No, the young lady is 15! No, I didn't know. How could I? Well, if she's 15, then 10 years worth of her would be poking out from the case. Some years ago, I heard something pertinent, I believe. A troop of men consuming vinegar daily in order to promote a certain litheness in their body. What? Huh? Vinegar? What? For such a sour bunch, it would surely be simplicity itself to contort oneself in the confines of that small case. This is Ace Attorney, not Uzumaki! Oh dear. You might be thinking of contortionists in the circus, Mr. Sholmes. This whole thing is turning into a circus. Mr. Naruhodo, something's occurred to me about Mr. Sholmes' deductions just now. They're crap. I think his powers of observation are, well, magical. His eyes cut to the heart of a matter almost instantly. It's just where he directs his attention and his logic that seems a little off. Your idea of a little may be a little off itself. It's just one or two key words in this deduction that seem to let him down. So I was wondering if we might perhaps tactfully switch them for alternatives. What do you think? Switch some key words into deductions? Yes, but very tactfully. I feel sure if we could do that, we'd unlock the true genius of Mr. Sholm's great deduction. So, we're just correcting him and then saying he's still a genius? Precisely the thought that was going through my own mind. This man is a lot of work. At times, I wonder how anyone puts up with me. Wah ha 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 ha! It's not that funny. Ah, and you, my good fellow. Sorry. Take a moment to look at your wrists. My wrists? Ah! When did that happen? Where are your handcuffs? Huh? How? I felt they may hinder your ability to follow me in our dance of deduction. I don't believe it. Mr. Sholmes, you are a marvel. Did he just commit a crime, though? And don't worry, I shall restore the shackles to your wrists when we are finished. I'm not worried, in fact. I'd rather stay like this. So, let us begin. Herlock Sholmes is proud to present his Logic and Reasoning Spectacular! Woo! Hold it, Mr. Sholmes! So dubious looking Russian. Okay, you got the scissors right, but not why he has them. Yes! Please! I was hoping something would come out to point it. I'm not sure. Would you really use shears like that to cut off a beard? I doubt that's something I'll ever have to worry about. I don't know, dude. Just give it a few years. It doesn't sit quite right with me, though. It doesn't seem to be sitting right with Mr. Roylott either. Which means, I suppose, that the deduction is wrong. Let's try to switch a word here, Naruhodo-san, and see if it helps matters. Alright, but how? I think we should start by taking a long, hard look at Mr. Roylott. I wonder if it's really his beard that he's intending to use those shears on. Exactly. If we do manage to find something that seems to fit the sense of Mr. Sholmes' deduction better, then what? Then I'll leave the rest in your capable hands, Naruhodo-san. Why am I the one to do something about this? Well, anyway, let's see if there's anything we could even use to switch around in that last sentence. What exactly was Mr. Roylott going to use those enormous shears for? Oh! 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 It is the ballerina in disguise! What the? What's this? It looks like a cascade of stunning golden locks. No, 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 no. The color is not the point. The point is, what's it doing on the back of Mr. Roylott's head? And how is it growing out from underneath his thick black hair? Well, yes, that's true. So it's stunningly beautiful and stunningly surprising. Something's definitely not right here.
Yes!
Yay! You're on the verge of using the shears to cut away the golden locks you sport. Indeed. You have identified the precise detail I was intending to Just admit you were wrong! Such luscious golden hair certainly does not fit an old man. I mean... Okay, if Greg Universe could sport long hair, anyone can. You're not a man at all. You're a woman, and judging from the length and sheen of your hair, one's still very much in her youth. Oh no. Okay, so it is the ballerina in disguise. If only I had managed to cut off my hair, no one would have suspected. The question then begged is this. Why would you desire to rid yourself of these magnificent locks? Once again, the answer is plain. We have clear evidence to shed light on the matter. I'm sure it needs no further clarification. The evidence that reveals your true identity... Dumbass! Well, that was a shock. I had no idea the old man was really a young woman in disguise. Did you? What? Why are you staring at me like that? Yes, it was a surprise, Naruhodo-san. You're enjoying this, aren't you? Sorry. You look like you're in your element as you dance around the room. So it is... Okay, so the whole, like, twirling around the room isn't just them imagining it. I'm just talking about what we agreed. I'm not having fun or anything. This is strictly business, not strictly not strictly comedy? Yes, I understand. Say no more. Well, anyway, let's focus on this next part of Mr. Sholmes' deduction, shall we? The evidence that he picked out doesn't fit the fact at all. No, that's true. Given that Mr. Roylott is actually a woman. Exactly. Let me... I don't know, like... Sorry. Like... They... can't possibly be this merciless revolutionary. I suppose it's because the deduction as a whole has taken a different direction now. Yes. Let's switch the evidence for something else. Something that fits the facts as we now understand them. For some reason, this woman need to try to hide her true identity. I feel as though I've either read or heard about a young woman in a situation like that recently. Alright, I'll do my best. Is this one, you dum-dum? Review scene? Oh, I guess if we're playing the whole scene all over again.
Yes!
Eat shit, Sholmes. The evidence that reveals your true identity is, of course, the article about the ballerina. That's right, you've hit the nail on the head. Renowned prima ballerina of the Nova Beach Ballet disappears from Shanghai. It would appear we are finally able to address you by your true name. Yes, because your true identity is that of the Nova Beach Ballet's prima ballerina. Miss Nikolina Pavlova. Did you get, like, one of those toy glasses with a fake nose and mustache? Ooh, nice earring. Also, I imagine she was patting the jacket. You're right. My real name is Nikolina Pavlova. But please, I beg you, don't tell anyone. Okay, I'm thinking after this whole deduction stuff ends, I'm gonna call it a night. Now, as for my second conclusion, you are, at this very moment, on the brink of committing a most grievous crime. Sorry. I have a theory that maybe Nina snuck off due to stress, but then it begs the question, what the heck is in that bag? Like, I thought it was a snake, but it could be something else. And the proof of this crime? Over there. Oh, does her hair turn blue? Oh yes, Miss Pavlova. Take unawares. People have a propensity to let their eyes stray, you see. And I assure you, the eyes speak so much more eloquently and honestly than the mouth. The answer we seek lies where the furtive glance falls. The proof of your crime sits before our very eyes. Yes, that traveling case. Maybe it's not the case, it's something else. Yeah, and the whole thing about, like, you're kidnapping a ballerina. How would she kidnap herself? This woman is the ballerina. She's right in front of our eyes. So clearly she can't be inside that traveling case as well. No, that's right. It seems she wasn't abducted at all. In which case, what is this crime? What is the crime this young one is apparently committing? I can see where I'm going to have to step in and fix the great detective's mistake again. You seem to look pleased, Miss Naruhodo-san. Do you like the idea of another chance to dance around with Mr. Sholmes? Are they doing a tango? Or a waltz? Stop it. Anyway, there must be something else here that shows what this woman is up to. Actually, hold on. Underage drinking? Wow, look at this dazzling tiara. I've never seen anything like it. Are those real diamonds, do you think? Oh, Naruhodo-san, try it on! What, me? Isn't it usually girls who wear tiaras? Anyone can wear them. Wouldn't you like to try it on? Oh no, I couldn't possibly. It's far too beautiful. Honey, don't put yourself down like that. Why does this tiara look familiar? I feel like I've seen it somewhere recently. Can I examine anything else? It's a very small case, isn't it? You can see instantly that no person can fit in there. So does that tell us that Miss Pavlova's telling glance in this direction was focused on something else? That's true, though. It doesn't make sense. Excuse me. What do you mean? Well, there's nothing incriminating inside this case. Why did she refuse to let us look inside? Yes, I wonder why. Perhaps she has a perfectly harmless reason, though. Open it up. There's a random hand with a gun. This, I think.
Yes!
Yay! The proof of your crime is surely this tiara. I believe this tiara is worn on stage by dancers in the Nova Beach Ballet, is it not? Indeed, it would appear to be identical to the tiara pictured here in this newspaper article. And if the reporting is to be believed, it's an item worth 20,000 rubles. In summary, the crime you have committed is theft. Oh no! Yes, you left your ballet troupe, unlawfully taking their precious tiara with you. Yay! Oh, if Mary was right, she's 15? I have no one, no family, no friends. I'm all alone, and I need money. But I did not steal the tiara. It was a present from, how do you say, an earl? Of Prussia. It belongs to me! This girl is only 15 years old, and she's run away all by herself. She must have been extremely lonely. Either that or extremely terrified of something. Alright, I will tell you everything. There's no point to hiding it now. Come, let us not be hasty. What? There remains one unsolved mystery about you. Mystery? What do you mean? You have staunchly refused to open this traveling case of yours in our presence. It is reasonable to conclude, therefore, that there exists some reason why you wish it to remain closed. Is that not so, Miss Pavlova? My dear girl, there is no sense in playing games with me. Nothing escapes my attention. Indeed, I have a very good idea of the contents of your case, even before I have ever laid eyes on them. Dear me, we are not well suited to a life of crime, are we? Your careless coup betrays you. Once again, we need only follow your furtive glance to find the answer. What? Yes, the reason why you refuse to open your case. Written in the books on the shelf. Excuse me? He's completely changed tack with his deduction now. Are you thinking she's trying to steal books? And if it was books, why was it moving as if it were alive? I think Mr. Sholmes is adapting his logic to changing circumstances, don't you? Maybe, but why was he suddenly brought the bookshelf into all this? It's just a wild guess, surely. Oh, do you think so? Well, it doesn't seem like that's the reason why this young woman doesn't want to open her case. Would have been written in a book that doesn't even belong to her. Yes, that's true. But still, Miss Pavlova certainly did cast her eyes in that direction. I noticed it myself. Then there has to be another reason why she won't open her case. And it must be somewhere in the same area, if that's where her gaze was involuntarily drawn. I agree. That's the only answer. Whatever she has hidden inside that case should be revealed by following her gaze in the direction of that bookcase. Maybe it's behind her? This is a charming little picture, isn't it? What is it? Someone climbing a steep mountainside? Or a descending one, it seems to me. And you've been on the flat sea for a while, maybe you start seeing hills and mountains and everything. Oh! Sorry, just remember there was the sign that said no pets! But I'll just look at everything just in case. Looks like these are all the same books that we have in our cabin. I suppose the steward likes to make sure passengers have plenty to read for the long voyage. And have you noticed how all the books have fallen over, just like in Kazuma-sama's cabin? It's almost like somebody's taken a sweep at them. Maybe Miss Pavlova, while she was practicing her ballet. Why would... Like, is she gonna peer away the bookshelf? Anyway, the point is, we don't have time to look through all these books at the moment. We couldn't even if we wanted to. They're all in Russian. Well, that's a relief. Let's try our luck elsewhere. No pets allowed! No pets allowed! No pets allowed! These are the rules of passage for travel aboard the SS Burdia. Passengers must not keep weapons or other dangerous objects in their cabins. Pets are also strictly forbidden. There was exactly the same notice in our cabin, too. I wonder what happens if you break the rules. You get thrown off the ship? Oh dear, I'm sure the punishment would be severe, Naruhodo-san. You'd probably be left to drift in the freezing cold ocean. That, or maybe they have a little personal jail. Or shut inside a tiny wardrobe for days on end. So I've actually been serving time for weeks now, have I? It's a metal door, same as in Kazuma's cabin. Yes, and the rather slim bolt is the same as well. Well, Miss Pavlova was actually glancing over the door here instead of the bookcase. That was just a desire to run away from this cabin. Maybe. No, I think it's this.
Yes!
Yay! Yes, the reason why you refuse to open your case is written in the rules of passage. Passengers must not keep weapons or other dangerous objects in their cabins. Pets are also strictly forbidden. Inside that case of yours is something forbidden from the carriage on this vessel. That is the real reason why you refuse to open it, thus revealing its contents. It's a pet! As we've seen, the trunk wobbles from time to time, but no weapon or other dangerous item would move of its own accord. Which leaves but one possibility, Miss Pavlova. Inside your traveling case is a puppy! Is the last item listed as forbidden in this vessel's rule of passage. A pet! I want to see the little boy! Or girl. Yay. Elementary. I like that. I don't know, I like the whole deduction thing. It's better than logic chess. So clearly you aren't who you say you were. No, I'm not Grimm's... I'm not Grimm's... Yeah, graphic design, Roylott. My real name is Nikolina Pavlova. Everything you said was correct. You absconded during one of your ballet company's performances in order to escape your homeland. Later that same night, you stole aboard this vessel. Which couldn't have been easy. The Bordia has a huge steamship with a vast crew. Could you really have snuck on board without being noticed? In order to obscure your true identity, you somewhat recklessly took the guise of an old gentleman. and you intended to sever all links with your past by severing your long hair. Yet to a woman, hair is no trifling matter. Depends on the woman. My personal recommendation is to leave well alone. That's not your... Unless that hair is on your head, you don't get to make that choice for her. So, if it was just you about to cut off your own hair, who was it that let out the scream we heard from outside the cabin? That veritable tinkling of a bell? Why, none other than this young lady, naturally. More like a full set of pipes, if you ask me. I was so scared when I ran away in Shanghai. I was sure they would come looking for me. That's why I decided to, how do you say, disgust myself? Okay, you got 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 letters, right? As a result, you transformed yourself into that questionable old man? I see. I put on the fur hat and fake beard. Then, just before you came in here, I saw in the newspaper, right on the page, there was a picture of me. I was so frightened I couldn't stop from screaming. I knew that if it didn't change my appearance completely, they would find me. So I decided to cut all my hair as fastly as possible. I picked up the scissors in my hand and... That's when we barged in. At that precise moment, we walked in through the annoyingly unlocked cabin door. Things happen like that sometimes, don't they? Things do indeed happen like that, from time to time. Are those two even talking about the same thing? There's just one more thing I'd like to know. What exactly do you have inside your traveling case? I'm guessing either a snake or a puppy. Or a cat. 3 guesses. You're right. It is my dear friend inside. My only friend in the whole world. Can we see the little boy? Please don't tell anyone. If the captain finds out, if you say to any of the crew. Your secret is safe with us, I assure you. But in return, you must tell us in as much detail as you can muster about the events of last night. I want to see the friend! Yes, alright, I will tell you. Well, Mr. Naruhodo? Wasn't it something, Mr. Sholm's great deduction? It was certainly something, yes. Until I had to step in and make it better. I'm just not entirely sure what, but at least Miss Pavlova has agreed to tell us what she knows. That's incredible. Indeed, it is incredible. And one more thing. Oh yes, what? Observe your wrists. Oh, they're back on! Ah! Your hands are cuffed again! Ah! True to my word, I have restored your shackles. When and why? There's still a shadow of guilt cast over you, Mr. Naruhodo. I'm sorry to say, it can't be helped at the moment. Can't it really? Anyway, let's listen to what Miss Pavlova has to say. I can't go on not knowing. I have to find out what the speckled band that Kazuma-sama wrote about in his diary really was. Can I see the little boy? Let me see. Don't touch! I'll tell you what I know about last night, but please, you must not touch my things. How do you say? Forbid it. Oh, sorry. As well you should be, young man. What vulgar manners you have. Poking around in a young lady's private belongings. Neither shall I allow it. Didn't you want to try that, though? Hypocrite. Wait, okay, before I sign off, I want to see the little boy. So the friend you mentioned is inside your traveling case, is that right? I don't think animals are allowed on board according to the rules of passage. Oh, please, don't tell. Don't tell any of the crew. If they found out my precious... Then the burly Russians would bestir themselves in unison to throw you and your case overboard, no doubt. So reassuring, Mr. Sholmes. But what sort of pet is your friend? A little puppy? It is, isn't it? She wants to see, too. Maybe an adorable little rabbit? Snake? Cat? Ah, you credit Russia as a land with small rabbits, do you? Oh, don't they have small rabbits there, then? You may well ask. I have no idea! You two are miserable bunglers when it comes to understanding the nature of young ballerina's friends. Isn't it obvious? It must be a chicken! She's not... Have you been playing Yakuza 0? Really? Consider the benefits. A rousing wake-up call, daily fresh eggs. What? And when adversity strikes, it could satisfy the needs of sustenance. Wow. So you'd eat your friends? I remember that. I want to see the little boy. Well, it would appear this friend's identity is a closely guarded secret not to be revealed. She obviously doesn't quite trust us yet. There's something I should like to show her, I think. Maybe she might be able to shed some light on it. I want to see the boy! Wait, no. I'm not showing her that. This is the diary of my friend who passed away. His diary? Yes, and he wrote in it last night before he died. Something a little unusual. It reads, 1:23 a.m. I can hear a faint whistling sound. And then a few minutes later, 1:35 a.m. What looks like some sort of speckled band is dangling from the ventilator grill. The whistling. It could be the hissing of a snake. A speckled band? I don't understand. Strange, isn't it? But the ventilator he mentioned joins to this cabin. It's up there on the wall. In other words, this cabin and the victims' cabins are connected together. Can it? Maybe the snake climbed the bell. No, probably climbed the wardrobe and went in. Unless she has some other sort of pet that, like, either climbs or flies. Oh. Miss Pavlova? Has something occurred to you? Does the speckled band the victim mentioned mean something to you? Or the whistling sound, perhaps? No. I don't know anything. Oh. Damn it! I want to see the pet! So I want to see what the pet is and then go to bed. Did you know that someone was killed in the cabin next door to this one last night? One of the crewmen told me this morning when I was eating breakfast. The man who died. He was a friend of mine. Oh. That's why we're trying to find out what happened. Did you notice anything unusual last night? Perhaps you heard a strange noise, for example? Perhaps people talking? Perhaps the ship was absorbed in a wild tempest. Perhaps its steam engine exploded? I think you're thinking of something else. Perhaps everyone on board would have noticed if that had happened. Miss Pavlova? Is there anything you can tell us? I don't know. I'm sorry, but all I could think about last night was what I had done and whether they would find me. I didn't notice anything that was happening around me. I see. So not much. Okay, so there wasn't really much of a sound. Oh. Okay, I guess if I try to examine anything, she gets mad. You've run away from your ballet company, haven't you? The Novovich Ballet? Yes. I am traveling to Great Britain, and from there, I want to go to America. I will never dance again. I want to forget everything about the ballet. I will start a new life. You wish to forget. A challenging proposition. When you have that striking tiara as a reminder. She just said she was gonna sell it! But the tiara is mine. I need it to live. I have no money of my own. Yeah, see? Like, she's gonna sell it and then use the funds to, I guess, either get the ticket to America or maybe find some lodging in Great Britain. Also, like, if she had no family, no friends, then what the hell happened in that ballet company? The Novovich Ballet gives us only a little food and water. Wow, they're dicks! Only give us a little food and water, we must dance all over the world. I had to run away, I had no choice. If I stayed, it would have killed me. So you ran away to protect yourself? Yes. And the crew of the ship, they have all been kind to me. They let me come on board, and they said I could hide in this cabin. Huh. So the entire crew knows? That is indeed the truth, Miss Pavlova. Okay, so I'm guessing maybe the crew provided the... Maybe they provided the disguise, and it's like, okay, we're gonna pretend your name is this, so hide in there. It creates a most intriguing conundrum. Yes, it does. What do you think about it, Mr. Naruhodo? Me? Oh, well, of course. I think we should hear Miss Pavlova's explanation. To what conundrum, I'm not sure, but... Miss Pavlova, allow me to pose you a riddle. According to this newspaper, it was only yesterday that you absconded from the ballet. Now, that being the case, it must have been last night that you boarded this vessel. Did this ship make any stops, or just like a one-way trip? Like no, like just constantly chugging along the ocean. However, the SS Burdia stopped by no port last night. She swam. Maybe she like hopped on a little. I just imagine her on a rowboat, like rowing all the way to the ship, and everyone was like, "Oh crap, a lady!" and they let her on. That's it, of course. So how is it, pray, that you come to be aboard? Now that I think about it, the crewmen outside the cabin acted very strangely when we mentioned that. It was just after we asked about when the occupant of his cabin came aboard. Oh yeah, they're acting very fishy, like nothing happened yet. And so it could be that while that was happening, they were distracted and anyone could have gone to Kazuma's room. That is not your business. Yes, you're right. He did seem to be hiding something. An angel descended from the heavens, bringing grace and beauty to the stage. Sorry, what was that? It is how the Russian newspapers described one of my performances. And that is how I came here, too. I descended from the heaven... You jumped off a plane?! Considering English isn't your mother tongue, your description is very vivid. Mr. Sholmes once said, I never can resist the touch of the dramatic. It seems Miss Pavlova is the same. A genius descended from the heavens, bringing grace and beauty to detection. Words once said about myself. Really? A quote from a wonderfully extravagant advertisement. Advertisement for the adventures of Sherlock Sholmes, in fact. I hate that smug look he does. Yeah, Mr. Showy. Anyway, it doesn't look like Miss Pavlova is going to tell us what really happened. Can I see this? Can I see the pet? Quick, put on your disguise! Excuse me, Mr. Roylet. Yes, what? She's fast! Captain would like to speak with you. You must come to Captain's quarters at once, please. Alright, I will come now. Like, maybe you can hide... Would you be able to hide your hair a little better in the jacket? What? You must leave now. Oh, no, it's fine. Don't mind us. Yes, please don't worry yourself, Mr. Roylott. Get out! The passenger said out, or you want me to throw you out. It looks like we have to leave investigating this cabin until later. What a pity. I wanted to see the pet! So we lost our chance. Having still not managed to investigate Miss Pavlova's cabin, we were unceremoniously chased out. That is to say, we were quite literally picked up and thrown into the passageway outside by the one dude.